in any decade. And boy, have they won a lot, over 100 wins in this decade.
Well, that's part of that mystique you were talking about with the New England Patriots earlier, and that Belichick is trying to link one great era to another. This is certainly a transitional season for the New England Patriots, losing big names like Bruschi and Seymour and Vrabel, and I mean right on down Harris and right on down the line. And then to have this young team and to build week by week and to game plan the way he does has been it's as good a coaching job. Some people will say that he's had.
And to come out and win a division title in a year where you're supposed to be rebuilding tells you how good they're coaching up this football team.
Good point out of the end zone. Mike Thomas will bring it, and he swerves his way with Ninkovich akin there. It's about his third special teams tackle today out near the 26-yard line, returning it for 28. For the first half possession for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4 consecutive punts took him to halftime.
Yeah, and you could see that they're very anemic, just not able to sustain drives. That first possession, 8 plays were the longest of their possessions in the first half, and I think they've got to be able to sustain it. You have to go back to the running game. You can't totally get away from Maurice Jones-Drew, but really this game is now in the hands of their quarterback, David Garrard.
They're going to have 2 defensive linemen. In fact, Burgess will be down, so they've got Wright at the nose guard and Burgess outside. 1st and 10 for quarterback David Garrard. That's the tight end and a rookie out of Nebraska Omaha, Zach Miller. Gain of 8 on the play, and he's up to about the 34-yard line. And he was a college quarterback. They've converted him to a tight end.
You know, and we say the game's going to be in the hands of David Garrard, throwing the football down 28-0 at halftime. That means the game is also in the hands of their 2 offensive tackles, the rookies, Eugene Moreau and Evan Britton, because if they can't protect the quarterback, there's no way Jacksonville's going to be able to get back into the game.
5 defensive backs, including Wilhite. 2nd down and 2. Maurice Jones-Drew stuffed by Banzakane, coming off the 3-sack game last week against Buffalo. That's a gain of about a yard. He'll be near the 35-yard line.
Right now, you can see the improvement, I think, up front. Tully Banzakane is a guy that had 3 sacks 1 week ago against Buffalo, and they had 6 sacks in that game total. Prior to that, they really were struggling to get to the quarterback. He leads the team with 8.5 sacks this year. And he had left his team via free agency, has now come back this year and really been one of their best players in the front 7.
Seau is in, 4 defensive backs, 3rd down and 1. Jones-Drew hit by Merriweather. Brought down. Brandon's got an interception already today. And to the 35, they'll stop him there. He had to get the first down to the 36, and he's shy.
You think they're going to go for it on 4th down? We said Jack Del Rio and Bill Belichick love to go for it on 4th down, and Jack has studied all the percentages. He feels like it's something that they can convert. They failed in their first 4th down attempt, but they're going to go for it here early in the second half.
Pryor is coming as the nose guard here. 4th down and 1. Takes it himself, the 2nd best rushing quarterback in the National Football League. A stout, hard guy to bring down, picks up 2, plows for the first down to the 37-yard line. That's one of the things that Bill Belichick talked about, was the running ability. Not necessarily on display right there, but overall, the running ability of David Garrard.
Oh, there's no doubt. Anytime you have a quarterback who throws the ball as accurately as David Garrard, doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, even though he has 1 in this game today. But when he can break down your defense by running the football, it just really makes it, I think, a difficult challenge to stop the quarterback from creating first down.
Burgess outside, right inside, 1st and 10. 5 in the secondary. Jones-Drew, Gerard Mayo brings him down 40-yard line, and that's a pickup of 4 on the play.
Yeah, Mayo is locked up in coverage. You can see 51 over to the right side. Locked up in coverage against Maurice Jones-Drew. Okay, if you're a linebacker, you say he's quicker and faster than I am. So, yeah, he's going to make the catch. But what you can't give up is yards after the catch, and Mayo did what he does best, make tackles, which is why he leads the football team in that category.
Still the nickel on 2nd and 6. Wilford, the tight end, with the block. Here's Jones. They're going to run him all day long, aren't they? He is a pocket Hercules, and he takes it down to the 42-yard line of the New England Patriots and brought down on the play by Guyton.
What you love about Maurice Jones-Drew, first guy doesn't get the tackle. Watch Wilhite come up, try to make this tackle. Look, make him miss. 2nd guy misses. And now he's to the 3rd level of your defense. Mayo has to catch him from behind in order to get him down.
That was a 17-yard catch and run. Jaguars have run only 1 play in Patriots territory. Deepest penetration right here, the 42. Jennings in the backfield with the 1st and 10. Hit as he throws. Jennings who began at Pitt and then transferred to Liberty and goes right into the defense of Brandon Merriweather and climbs into his defense for 13, picks up the first down to the 29.
You might say, okay, well now why are they able to move the ball when they weren't able to move the ball before? I think for one, they weren't spreading out this defense. Number two, the protection for David Garrard was not holding up. Both things are happening now at a level in the second half that we didn't see happening in the first half, and David Garrard's getting the ball out of his hands.
Burgess on the wing, Pryor in the middle, Wright is out, 1st and 10. And this is caught. Jennings again, big time hit by Sanders. The ball was jarred free. They're going to mark him down at about the 24-yard line. Juggled the ball, incomplete pass. Incomplete pass,
but watch Garrard. So he's not going to get caught holding the ball. The pressure's there. The pocket's collapsing. He takes a lick, but only after he's gotten rid of it, and Jennings not able to hold on to it. That ball was never caught or secure.
I was curious to see if the loss of their great blocking fullback Greg Jones would affect this team a little bit. Sure it does, on the field of practice, in the locker room, and sometimes in the running game.
And a lead, blocker for Maurice Jones-Drew. He's a guy that can change the line of scrimmage, taking out the linebackers to clear a path for MJD.
9th play of the drive, 2nd and 10. Here comes Maurice Jones-Drew, and stuffing him is Pryor. He was a 4-year starter at Kentucky and a 6th-round pick. He's a rookie. It's a gain of 2 to the 27th.
And now we're going to be faced with that third long opportunity that we talked about that doesn't intimidate the Jacksonville Jaguars. We haven't seen Mike Sims-Walker get involved in the offense. Torrey Holt, they've gone to him a couple of times, and I'm sure Jack Del Rio knows how important this first possession here in the second half is for his football team.
Ninkovich is in. Burgess will be the only down lineman. Look at all the linebackers. 3rd down and 8. They did a lot of this last week in Buffalo. A sidearm job, and that was caught by Mike Sims-Walker. Just talking about him. Merriweather is right there, the former #1 pick out of Miami. It's a 9-yard gain. They'll spot him at the 18.
David Garrard holds onto this ball to the very last second. Well, look, he knows that he's going to get a hit, but see, he sort of lobbed it up there and allowed Mike Sims-Walker to run under it. And there's the hit. Boy, has he taken a lot of these during the course of this season.
He's been sacked a lot, too. We haven't talked about his battle off the field with Crohn's disease, which has been something that he has won and is maintaining and managing right now, but that was debilitating earlier in his career. 1st and 10 from the 18. Screen, Thomas, Redwell, Gerard Mayo, gain of 4. Mark him at the 14-yard line. There's Mayo, former Defensive Rookie of the Year in the National Football League.
He's a very good football player, high football IQ. This is a complex defense they run with the New England Patriots, and boy does he get it. And everybody talked about, well, he's not making the same number of plays as he did last year. He's got a lot more on his plate. With a lot of those veterans that we talked about who played with him last year, you could just run around and make plays. Now he's got to be the thinking man or the brains of the defense, as well as going out and trying to make some plays.
4 linebackers, 1 down lineman on the far side. That's Burgess on the near side. Tully Kane on 2nd down and 6. They decide to run. A little gain of 5 right there. You see Sanders at the bottom of that pile. And the stop on Maurice Jones-Drew. Sanders, they talked about him this week and how his communication in the secondary has been a big improvement for the defensive coverage for New England.
Well, think about it. Someone had to step up in the absence of Rodney Harrison. You need a guy like James Sanders to step up and make some plays. Take a look at the drive so far. 5 runs, 7 pass plays. Ball is in the hand of David Garrard.
3rd and 1. Jacksonville has struggled in the red zone this year. Jones-Drew. He was slowed down by Mike Wright, who had just checked in. You can see that the avalanche of defenders coming through and making the stop, including Junior Seau. That's a gain of 2. Junior Seau in his 20th year in the National Football League, and still plays with the enthusiasm of a guy who's been in the league 2 years.
I don't know how he does it. How does the body keep going? Remember, he came out of USC after his sophomore season. You know, he was a young guy when he came into the league. He's gotten everything out of it. 40 years of age. Same age as Brett Favre, but he's a linebacker, not a quarterback.
Same age as you and I. 1st and goal at the 7. Jones-Drew at the side of Garrard. Oh, what a great read by Junior Seau, but then Garrard took it on the fake and dives to the 5, where he was brought down by Myron Pryor on a gain of 2. A deceptive move, and Seau thought he had really struck gold.
Look at Seau, just coming right up the middle, shooting again, makes the tackle. Too bad that Maurice Jones-Drew did not have the ball if you're the Patriots, because his instincts were correct. He had to tackle one guy. He didn't know that Garrard was going to keep it. He decided to tackle the running back and allow the quarterback to go free.
That was the Trojan against a Bruin. USC against UCLA. Second and goal at the 5. 8-minute drive to begin this second half from the 5. Jones drew a block this time. Sanders was there, and they were going for the rookie tight end, Zach Miller, across the middle.
See, the problem is David Garrard cannot step up in the pocket. The pocket is disintegrating so quickly. And give the Patriots credit, they're not going to allow him to grow comfortable in the pocket, so they're going to pressure every gap. They're bringing pressure off the edges. Belichick's bringing pressure up the middle into the face of David Garrard. Remember, you have to contain him because he's a mobile quarterback, but then you have to apply pressure in his face also to force him to throw the ball off his back foot.
This is the 16th play of the drive, 3rd and goal at the 5. A lot of defensive backs back there, 5 of them. Intercepted again. This is picked off by the veteran Sean Springs. First interception of the season. He's played for the Seahawks, he's played for the Redskins, and now he is a Patriot. Garrard picked off the 9th red zone turnover in NFL high for Jacksonville. Two interceptions today thrown by David Garrard. That one in the red zone.
Yeah, 9 red zone giveaways, most in the NFL. It's just squandering opportunities to put points on the board. And now a penalty.
Vollmer was moving. False start.
False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That is the first penalty against the New England Patriots today.
So if Jacksonville was one of 6 AFC teams enter the weekend with a 7-7 record.
It's 1st and 15. This is Welker. And Durant lassos him at the 13-yard line. That's a pickup of 9. Wes Welker has been sensational today
to pass them up for that wild card spot.
Falk in the backfield. Neal still playing that right guard. 2nd down and 6. We have seen Conley at that right guard a bit today. Sammy Morse. And brought down by Harvey. It is a gain of 2. And they'll put him, Solomon, at the 16-yard line. So this New England offense, which has been looking for an identity, has been very inconsistent and looking for the right mix, if you will. And Tom Brady puts himself right at the core of that issue, has seemingly found some of these things over the last couple, but especially today against Jacksonville.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And he said it starts with a week of practice. And he had not been able to practice leading up to the last few games because whether it's a finger injury or the shoulder injury, he's battled some nagging body parts, and the fact that he could get on the practice field, he said it's very important for quarterbacks.
3rd down and 4. Here comes Groves. Good tuck by Brady. First down pass to Welker. How about that? That was amazing. Middleton touched him. 7-yard gain. That is a first down to the 24.
He comes free. Now you got to get the sack. I mean, if you come free, you got to get to the quarterback. Look at Grove. He just whiffed on the play, and if you're last in the National Football League with only 14 sacks coming into this game, when you get your hands on the quarterback, you've got to grab and hold on to make sure you get him on the ground.
It is a first down. Interesting numbers on Welker. Falk in the backfield with Brady. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes today, 2 to Moss, 1 to the tight end, Baker. Gopin with the snap. Watson with the block. Moss with the catch. Cox with the tackle. And about the 44-yard line. Good strike, 20-yard gain. Brady through the air has been terrific. 17-19 for 187.
Well, he just puts this one up for Moss. There's a lot of trust to just throw this one up, knowing that Moss is going to come down with it, working against the rookie. He did a double move on Derek Cox, but it's just a jump ball situation for Moss. He rewards Tom Brady by going up at the highest point for the ball and coming down with it. He's been facing a lot of double and triple team coverage still. Yet another 1,000-yard season.
Morris in the backfield, 1st and 10. Brady has hit his last 10 through the air. Edelman on the move, former quarterback in college. There's a block by Moss for his teammate Roman, who sneaks up the side, goes into Reggie Nelson, who didn't start today after ineffective play. Manning took advantage of him last week, as did the Colts. 11-yard gain right there to the 45.
And watch 81 Randy Moss out in front. See this block here? I just think that's phenomenal against Derek Cox. And that's what they want from Randy Moss all the time. But, boy, they're getting his best play at the right time of year. I think he's one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game.
Bound for Canton.
Oh, there's no doubt. I think the numbers would suggest that.
1st and 10. Yeah, the numbers would back that up. Morris in the backfield. Brady is really on a roll. And Morrison knocked down there by Smith. You said something interesting a couple minutes ago, and that gain is to the 45-yard line. They'll stay right there. About reps and how Brady felt that this week he was getting his reps. If you take a look at some of the numbers associated with today's game, Manning is a big rep guy. I don't know any great athlete that has not been a rep guy.
Particularly at the quarterback position. If you're going to function at a very high level, you have to have the reps during the week. You have to gain that rhythm, the chemistry, and then the trust where that when you get into a game, now you're not thinking. It's almost as if the body takes over. It's on autopilot. You can operate with a high level of consistency when you've had the work in practice.
2nd and 10. There's a block by Light, or maybe a miss by Considine. Read it well. The ex-Eagle. It is a loss of 3. Back to the 47-yard line.
Welker is catching the ball every single time they throw it to him, and boy, have they done so a lot today, catching it over the middle, dominating, taking many licks, of course, from the defense, but when you can dominate the hash area and then get outside of the numbers, it really does open up the field for everyone else. Randy Moss has got the 2 touchdowns, but Wes Welker so far 12 catches in the game today, over 100 yards receiving.
Leading receiver in the National Football League, 3rd down and 12. Offensive injuries for Jacksonville we're going to tell you about with Falk in the backfield. Here comes Groves, and Brady moves up niftily. Julian Edelman will fly inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line, where he is brought down. Considine and armed with a couple on a 28-yard gain. Make the stop. Edelman, a 7th-round pick out of Kansas State, was a college football quarterback.
Yeah, and now he's the 3rd receiver you were asking for.
Sure.
Earlier, Kevin, and look at him catch the ball over the middle. Almost Wes Welker-like in his ability to run those option routes and dominate over the middle of the field. And when you can have this many weapons, we've seen both tight ends make some plays, Benjamin Watson, Chris Baker, and then Randy Moss and Wes Welker. You get Edelman going now. Who are you going to double cover? I think they're going to eat you alive either way.
And Brady has been right on the screws today. Here's a handoff on 1st and 10 to Morris. He's got a 1-yard touchdown run already. He's tackled by Gerald Alexander, the ex-Lion, in the backfield. It's a 7-yard pickup down to the 12-yard line. And that may be the final play of the quarter. It is. Brady's going to walk off. We're going to count it down from 24. It'll be 2nd and 3 when we come back. And Tom today, 3 touchdown passes. Moss has caught 2 of them. And 2 turnovers by Jacksonville. And it would look like we've got a champion in the AFC East.
Boy, and you know what? And they're still working for more. And look at it. They're huddling up, talking about what they're going to do to put the ball in the end zone in the 4th quarter.
The fans love it here in Foxborough on what has been a beautiful afternoon, especially in the 2nd half. Go to the 4th with the New England Patriots leading 28-0 over Jacksonville. Big day for Tom Brady, 20 of 22, 224 yards. He has gone over 4,000 yards for the season. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes. And now, as if putting the icing on the cake, Fred Taylor is in for the first time, the ex-Jacksonville Jaguar, who was let go in February after playing 11 seasons there and really became the face and the player that was representing that franchise and that community, is in the game for the first time.
He made a lot of comments this week about the Jacksonville Jaguars and about how much they prepare in New England. He said he didn't mean anything negative about the team, and he didn't mean to really put the city, you know, under the microscope in terms of the amount of games blacked out. And
Sure.
he talked about, yeah, they may end up moving to L.A. He said he wants this team to remain in Jacksonville, and he really has rooted for them ever since week 3 at the beginning of the season.
It's 2nd down and 3, and they blow that dead. As you see, a false start. It's going to go on the New England Patriots.
False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Hope Sebastian, the 2nd-round pick out of Houston, picking that up. And here's what Taylor has done this year. He's been inactive for 9 straight weeks because he had some torn ligaments in his ankle. He had surgery, so he has been out. He's had 1 100-yard game this season. It was earlier in the year. It was against Atlanta.
If they can get him going down the stretch as they go into the postseason,
that's a good point.
It's a lot of trouble for their opponent.
That's a very good point. 2nd down and 8. The fake to Taylor is being chased is Brady by Smith. They go inside. That's a touchdown for Moss. His 3rd today. The 4th touchdown pass by Brady. Moss lunging in on a 17-yard strike.
They had a play fake on to Fred Taylor. Watch, everyone follows Fred Taylor to the left. Yeah, stop Freddie. Yeah, let's leave Randy Moss one-on-one against the rookie quarterback, and Moss is able to stretch that ball just across the goal line before he hits the ground for his 3rd touchdown of the day. We told you they had awakened a sleeping giant by being highly critical of Randy Moss, and boy, has he answered.
This has the shades of that Tennessee game. It was 59-0 in the snow here earlier in the year. And in a game that had playoff implications both ways. And for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who it's been like a playoff game for a while now for them, just to stay buoyant and stay alive. Now there's a challenge by Jack Del Rio. He's going to see if maybe the knee of Moss was down at the 1 before he got that ball across the line.
Look at the numbers for Tom Brady.
Isn't that amazing?
2 incompletions after attempting 23 throws.
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field of a touchdown.
Well, we'll take a look at it. And so Jack Del Rio with 14:54 to go here in the 4th is going to have him look at that play. Timeout. Jacksonville coach Jack Del Rio has just challenged a touchdown lunge by Randy Moss on a catch at about the 2 and a lunge at about the 1. Did he get it over in time? And that's not a very distinctive picture right there. Tough to see from that angle.
Yeah, the ball has broken the plane of the goal line, but you can't tell if his knee was down.
True.
And they're going to need something conclusive as evidence to overturn the call on the field. Remember, the call on the field was ruled a touchdown for Randy Moss.
And to think, Solomon, that early in the game, the Patriots fumbled at the 1. This could be a worse score than it is right now.
All right, he's come in, Randy Moss has.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
I'm convinced they couldn't tell. I mean, the picture just did not. It was inconclusive.
Yeah, it was inconclusive. 3 touchdowns on the day for Randy Moss, answering the critics, really putting out, and Jack Del Rio knew that this was a guy that could really light you up. He came into today's game with 10 touchdowns, 3 on the day, gives him 13 for the year.
And like we said at the top of the show, you spent the week at NFL Films watching a lot of tape of Moss for your weekly show on the NFL Network, and you were trying to digest all the debate by the experts around the country as if his effort was there. You think it was, and it certainly has been today, and he is blossoming. 4 touchdown passes by Brady, 3 to Moss. When all that criticism was being shot at Randy Moss, Tom Brady was the one that really stuck up for him on this team.
Well, he really did. He supported Randy, and even his coach supported him. Say, hey, he does exactly what they expect him to do. And I think quietly, there's no doubt they wanted more effort. But I think that's how you get teams over the hump, and that's how you're able to weather the storm of adversity. The support from the quarterback, Tom Brady. He supports his #1 weapon. Remember how many years he had lobbied for the coach to go out and, hey, go get me some playmakers. And in the same year, in that 07 season, they bring in both Wes Welker and Randy Moss, and boy, have they paid off big time.
Here's Thomas from the 5. And then Arrington will bring him down. Remember how Brady probably could have signed even for more money, but he wanted to make sure there was something left in the till for guys like Moss in the future.
Both of them, 1,000-yard seasons, 3 consecutive years in a row.
Randy Moss has caught 3 touchdown passes today from Tom Brady, who has thrown 4 overall. Here come the Jacksonville Jaguars, 7-7 into the game today. Trailing 35-0 here early in the 4th. Jennings in the backfield, and Garrard is under center. 6 defensive backs for New England. Jennings, and by Mayo, slashing his way into the secondary, and finally brought down by Merriweather as an interception today. And that's a 22-yard explosion to the 48-yard line of New England.
How about Rashard Jennings? Look at that, finding the seam right here. And look at him just continuing to press the hole. Had a couple of directions and ways that he could have gone as he was running very hard through the hole.
Jennings with a block here, buying time for Garrard, who finds his rookie receiver Thomas at about the 29-yard line. Merriweather there to make the stop. 19-yard pickup there.
David Garrard got this offense moving. They moved the ball at times, but it has been the turnovers that's been costly for David Garrard and the Jacksonville offense.
Jennings remains in the backfield. 1st and 10. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. That's a great catch made downfield by Nate Hughes, who makes the grab right there. Hughes with the ball.
Yeah, good catch. And what about the throw over the defender? Brandon Merriweather thought he had a pick. It was high, and Hughes went up and got it. So a good throw by David Garrard, and then an even better catch by Hughes.
Lee Bodden was defending and made the stop, so gains through the air of 22, 19, and 20 yards. 1st and goal at the 9. And trying to preserve that shutout, which is important to everybody from Belichick all the way right down.
There's no doubt about it. It is a source of pride.
Jones-Drew in the backfield. Here's Thomas in the flat, dancing with real height. Did he get over? Yes. Oh, I thought maybe he got over, but no, at the 2-yard line, not there. I thought he got over. I might challenge that play.
One official was beginning to signal a touchdown while the other one said no. They looked at each other and figured they had to be on the same page. See if he got the ball across the pylon before going on. That's a touchdown. See, he would signal a touchdown. Yeah. I think it's a touchdown. Feet are in bounds. Let's see if that heel hit.
That right foot,
but the ball certainly crossed the pylon.
2nd and goal at the 2, and Jones-Drew is in. Here comes Burgess. He evades him. That's a touchdown run for quarterback David Garrard. His 3rd of the season. A 2-yard touchdown run, and the shutout is gone.
The mobility in terms of what Bill Belichick feared the most. He can break you down by moving. Look at that, making defenders miss. 1, 2, 3, and then just drag the rest of the guys right into the end zone. Really good play by David Garrard to put Jacksonville on the board.
I think he was hurt. In fact, he was trying to come back out, and the coaching staff said get back out there, and he did. And of course, he takes it in for the 6. And now here is Josh Scobie to try and tack on one more. On the hold, it was a good one. And he sends it through Podlish, the punter was holding, and they're looking at, I think, the right leg of Garrard, who was dazzling on this one, weaving his way in on a 2-yard touchdown run. They were looking at Garrard, his right leg. You can see he's a tough guy to begin with. He is one of 3 injuries they've had on offense. Holt is out with a finger. Mercedes Lewis had a head injury early in the game. Luke McCown is warming up. He's only thrown 3 passes today, and he did not have the benefit of a training camp. But here's the play we think Garrard got hurt on.
Yes, take a look at it and see here. They did apply some pressure. And you can see he goes down, and there he is holding his leg. And he was ready to come out. Of course, they wanted him to stay in, and for good reason.
Well, they're expecting the onside kick, and this one's going to flutter into the end zone. It'll be a touchback as Welker just lets it go. So it'll be a 1st and 10 at the 20. Garrard still a little bit shaken up. He did just run that one in, though, from 2 for the touchdown. I don't know how Brady doesn't have a perfect quarterback rating. He's 21 of 23, 241 yards. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, not a single pick, and looked virtually perfect in every way.
He completed his first 7 passes of the game, then had 2 incompletions, one of which was a throwaway. He has now completed his last 14 pass attempts.
Fred Taylor in the backfield. This is a 1st and 10 on the touchback at the 20-yard line. Smith not a chance for that pass to go to the near side. They go to the far side. Looking for Fred Taylor. Drops the ball. 2nd and 10.
Kevin, as we come to the end of a decade, take a look at some great teams. The 1970 Dallas Cowboys had 105 wins in the 70s, and then in the 1990s, 113 wins set a new record for most in any decade by the Niners. And now, how about this? The Patriots, 111 wins and 115 for the Indianapolis Colts. So I ask you, who is the team of the decade? Is it the team with the most rings in the Patriots, or the 115 wins this decade by the Colts?
That was a 2-yard run by Fred Taylor on 2nd down and 10. And it's the Colts, as you can see, in terms of wins, but I look at those SB rings down there at the end.
Yeah, 3 championship rings by the New England Patriots in this decade, but the 115 wins in this decade is the most ever in any decade by any given team. So I think this Super Bowl to be played in Miami, right here on CBS, might decide the argument.
He'll be on the sidelines for that game.
Yeah.
3rd down and 8 with Falk in the backfield. Watson on the move. Brady back to throw. Nice catch by Welker. What a catch. My goodness. Tackle was made by Tyrone Breckenridge. Picks up 19 yards on the play. Welker, 13th catch of the day.
How about this? Tom Brady still firing away. And Wes Welker still catching anything that's thrown to him. Still almost able to make the defenders miss. And look how they open it up and create a seam in there. Behind Sam Aiken, he draws most of the coverage toward him, and Wes Welker makes good use of very small spaces to haul in the catch.
Taylor in the backfield, and a 1st and 10 from the 41. Fred Taylor, good block by Watson, and then tackled on the play. Looked like Ewood got a hand on him.
As a loss there would knock them out of the playoffs.
2nd down and 2. Edelman will be the 3rd receiver here. Aiken is out there, and Taylor remains in the backfield. Fred Taylor. Palmer with the block, the right tackle. And brought down on the play by Jeremy Navarro, a rookie out of Maryland. It's a gain of 4. He's down to the 47-yard line, and once again a look at the playoff picture in the AFC.
Though Baltimore, look at it, at 8-6, a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers would move them to 9-6, and boy, would that be huge for them. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, look at them clinging and talking about being in the hunt, clinging on for a wild card spot at 7-7.
It is tough, isn't it, Solomon, to capture that same emotion that may have possessed you the year before when you won a Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
A little hangover perhaps for the Steelers, and a lot of injuries too, by the way. Polamalu was affected. Here's a 1st down and 10. That's Aiken, the ex-Buffalo Bill, driven out of bounds by Cox, 40-yard line, and a pickup of 7 on the play. Just to extend that Wisdom of Solomon feature we just saw, if you go back to the 60s, Green Bay.
Yep.
Go back to the 50s, the Cleveland Browns. Back to the 40s, probably.
Dominant teams.
And probably Green Bay and Chicago in the 40s and 30s.
And none of them ever won 115 games in one decade.
Right.
That's a new NFL record set by the Indianapolis Colts. And Bill Belichick, his crew, they're just 4 games behind the Colts. They've won 111. This will be 112.
2nd and 3, and this is a run by Fred Taylor, who picks up 2 on the play and brought down on the line by Ewu. There's a great book by Belichick. It's been out on Belichick, by the way, by the late David Halberstam. It came out a couple years ago. It's a great read.
The son of a coach.
Who his dad, of course, was at Navy for 38 years, and Bill was there as a kid watching tape, watching film at that time. And he just absorbed everything he saw from his dad. It was a wonderful relationship, and you'll always remember the picture of son and father on the sidelines, one of those Super Bowl wins. But that book is worth reading if you're just even a football fan, because it's so detail-oriented. Here's a 3rd and 1, and a gain of a couple on the play. Brady.
And if you love football like Bill Belichick does, and you read that book, I think it sort of chronicles just how he was raised in the game. He was almost like a prodigy in terms of understanding this game at a very early age, being able to look at film and dissect offenses as well as defense. And that's what I don't think he gets enough credit for, what a great coach he is on both sides of the ball, not just on one side. I know everyone gives him credit for putting together real dominant defenses, but he can coach on the offensive side and at every single position on the football field.
9th play of the drive. Fred Taylor again. And Brian Ewu is there to make the stop. It's a gain of 4 down to the 32-yard line. And here is a team, a Patriot team, which is, let's see, they began the season 5-2. They hit the bye week. Then they went 4-3. In that span, they won 2 in a row. They lost 2 in a row, and they were trying to really find their way. It seems like today maybe they have hit their stride, and what a great time of the year to peak. What a great time to hit your stride.
And when you talk to the players, that's what they came here looking for today, more than just another division title. They were looking for a complete game, one that saw them play very well in all 4 quarters, and boy, have they found it.
The guard Conley was in the backfield leading the way for Taylor. Loss of a yard. Navarre jumps on the pile on that 2nd and 5.
Because the Bengals have yet to clinch a division title.
It's 3rd down and 6. Falk. Palmer with the block. Logan Mankins with the block. And he's down after a gain of 5 yards on the play with the tackle made by Quentin Groves, a 2nd-round pick 2 years ago out of Auburn. Kevin Falk has had a nice career, and all-purpose yards leader in the history of this franchise. And a beautiful day. It's turned out to be a beautiful day after a ton of rain the last couple days here in the New England area.
What a beautiful facility. Look at the replica of a lighthouse. They have wonderful shops and malls, a theater, and boy, what a palace Robert Kraft has built here.
It's 4th and 1. Brady again for the second time taking that quarterback keeper and trying to plow some yards, and he gets the first down, a gain of 2 to the 25-yard line on the play. And speaking of that, we've got, one of the nice features of this entire complex is a Hall of Fame that they've got right on the grounds here, over 36,000 square feet. It contains interactive multimedia exhibits and artifacts pertaining to the Patriots and the history of football in New England. The Pats' 3 Lombardi trophies are there. The 2 best, I think, in the league, and these are 2 very progressive franchises. Green Bay's Hall of Fame and the Hall of Fame, or the football exhibit that Robert Kraft and family have constructed here for the fans, and it's always about giving back to the fans.
And it's a great educational tour. I've taken the tour, and boy, it talks about the history of the New England area and the football team, but kids can come here on field trips and receive a tremendous education, learn more about the league, but they learn a lot about the area in which they live. And boy, talking about giving back, I don't know if anyone's given back more than Robert Kraft, and the fans here are more proud of this football team. And it really is, I think, the thing that binds everyone together. It pulls them all together. They come from everywhere just to flock here to Gillette Stadium on Sundays to watch their team play.
The late-minute drive constructed by Brady today, who's thrown the 4 touchdown passes. He's 23 of 26. Here's a 2nd down and 5. Taylor had 5 in the previous play. It's a block from Conley, and then Smith, the linebacker, brings him down at about the 19-yard line. This is, of course, the 50th anniversary of the beginning of the old American Football League, and the Patriots, one of those franchises, one of the original 8. And so in going back to those days and honoring those players and those great Mavericks of that time, led by Lamar Hunt in Kansas City, it's been that kind of exhibit and that kind of feel from these original 8 teams, which has been so fun to watch in this season.
And you can go through that museum built by Robert Kraft, and you'll see the old Boston Patriots and Gino Cappelletti and some of the great players that were a lot of fun to watch.
3rd and short 4. This drive began back at the 20-yard line on a touchback. Fred Taylor once again picking and poking his way. Alexander among a couple that make the stop. He's close to a first down on the play near the 15-yard line. And I'm sure for Fred Taylor this has got to be some sweet revenge, playing on a team that's going to be significant at the end of this season, going into the playoffs. And now that he is healthy, he, like you said earlier, he could have a significant role.
He was one of those guys that's happy to get that hat and T-shirt. It's been 9 years since he played on the division winner. And he talked about it with us. He's as proud as anyone to be a member of the New England Patriots and to be a part of a winning season. Late in your career, you cherish these moments.
4th and 1. Conley in the backfield, the guard. He'll lead the way for Fred Taylor. He's got the first down. Cox was right there with the stop and a gain of 3 and down to the 13-yard line. Before the game, we saw this on the field. About 2 hours before kickoff today, Fred Taylor, who has a great affection for a lot of his teammates and former coaches, and he was a leader in that locker room, but he did say some things earlier this week that kind of hit people maybe the wrong way. But that guy right there, number 32, Maurice Jones-Drew, swears by him. He said, when I came in the league, I needed a mentor. I needed guidance, and he provided that for me as a guy who was a veteran in the NFL.
Showed Maurice Jones-Drew how to work, how to take care of his body, how to be a leader for other players, and particularly at difficult times, and how to stay the course and help your coaching staff.
Taylor on the 17th play of the drive, and he's stuck right there by Smith at about the 9-yard line and a gain of 3 yards. Clock now approaching the 2-minute warning, and that's what we'll take you to. So the New England Patriots, who have gone 7-0 at home this year, will finish this season a perfect undefeated 8-0 at home. And Tom Brady will have won his 23rd consecutive home game as a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots.
I think it's incredible. And, teams grow through adversity. I think this Patriot team in 2009 have grown through some adversities of the season.
Tom Brady, a commanding performance today in this home game, and he's thrown 4 touchdown passes, 3 to Randy Moss, 1 to his tight end, Chris Baker. Sammy Morris with a 1-yard touchdown run. And those numbers, how that can't be 156.3, I do do not know.
Wow,
that's amazing.
You can't get much better than that.
You can't. It's a perfect performance. He's 2nd down and 7 right now here at the 2-minute warning. And my guess is they will run this down, even though timeouts remain in multiples for both teams. And look at Moss. A great day for Randy. And as you said, I think very accurately before, maybe the Giant has been awakened here a little bit as they head into the most important part of the season.
Well, I think he's a proud football player, and anytime you start to be critical of a guy, they're going to prove you wrong.
Sammy Morris on 2nd down and 7. Groves and an avalanche of players. Navarre all making the stop after a gain of a yard. Clock will continue to tick. So the New England Patriots are going to go to 10-5. Jacksonville will drop to 8-7, and virtually, and there goes Brady. He's going to leave, and a nice standing ovation for him. Brian Hoyer, a rookie out of Michigan State, will check in. Brady with a spectacular game. You know, the relationship between a head coach and a quarterback is probably the single most important relationship on a team, and those guys are about as tight as you're going to find in the league, head coach and quarterback.
I believe it's very important, because who's going to go to the quarterback and say, here's what we need you to do? And you see, if the coach want to take the quarterback out of the game, I think it's okay. I think the quarterback can do what the coach tells him to do.
That's right.
No matter where you're playing.
Gain of 4 by Sammy Morris. Big drive right here, and look at that score with 9.5 to play. And again, the significance of that coming into today, the Patriots at 9-5, the Bengals at 9-5, fighting for that 3rd spot in the AFC playoffs. Both teams coming in with the same record. Conference records the same, 6-4 coming into today against common opponents, 2-2. Strength of schedule was the 4th tiebreaker, and when you got to that level, New England had a slight edge. Now, New England is going to go to 10-5, and Cincinnati is fighting just to go by a 3 in whatever Kansas City Ball Club. On the handoff here on 4th and 2, it goes to Morris, and then he is stood up by the middle linebacker, Darrell Smith.
And I think, look at this, the Chiefs could be doing the Patriots a favor, as you talked about, and of course the Patriots could solidify that number 3 seed.
All right, we're going to have a change of possession with 29 seconds to play, and the Patriots recording their 10th win. A chilly day in Foxborough, which began with a lot of rain last night here in the New England area. Tough day for David Garrard and this Jacksonville team. New quarterback is Luke McCown. He's only thrown 3 passes this year for Jacksonville after being in training camp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and losing the job to Byron Leftwich. A quick handoff and a pickup of 3 on the play, which will take us to the zeros on the clock, and a New England win, a 35-7. Tough day for Jack Del Rio. In a playoff atmosphere for both teams coming in, it was the master, Belichick, prevailing. Coming up next, the Denver Broncos will take on Philadelphia. And some important games have to be played this weekend in the National Football League. 4 Brady touchdown passes. For Solomon Wilcots, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long from Foxborough. Next, the Burger King update on CBS.
All right, so the New England Patriots get it done 35-7 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And as you heard, the Patriots are now clinched the division title with that win.